Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about contouring and highlighting, and I give you a lot of tips and tricks on how I like to contour and highlight and how you can customize it to suit your face shape. At the end of the day you can wipe it off and you can try again the next day. So don't worry if you don't get it straight away, but just play around, look at your face shape and what you think is going to suit you. I'm going to start by applying my foundation. So I'm using the L'Oreal True Match foundation in 4W Golden Natural, and I'm just going to mix in a little bit of my Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation in the shade Medium Beige, just because I'm running low on this one. I'm just using my Real Techniques, I think it's called the Miracle Complexion Sponge, to blend out my foundation. So now that I have my base down, I'm going to move on to concealing and highlighting my face. So I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Natural. So the areas that you want to highlight are under the eyes, down the center of the face, so on the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, and on your chin. And you can bring this up the sides of your nose as well, which is going to give a slimming effect. I have a little bit more of a wider face, so my cheekbones are really high naturally, so I don't need to add so much highlighter because it's just going to make my face look even wider. So instead I like to contour a little bit more around the sides of my face, and that's just going to give a slimmer appearance. But if you do have a slimmer face and you want to accentuate your cheekbones and make them stand out more, then you can bring your highlighter out even further. And when I blend it out, it does bring it out a little bit further, which is fine. But if I did initially bring the concealer all the way up here, then it would be blended all the way out here. So that's not what I want to do. This is a really great concealer. It's so affordable and it just works really well. It has really good coverage. It's just amazing for the price. So I highly recommend that concealer. You want to choose a shade that's 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone, and that's going to give you the really brightening effect. So essentially what concealing and highlighting is bringing forward the areas that you want to stand out. I'm adding a little bit to the center of my forehead. I don't like to add too much right here because I feel like my forehead is already big enough, so I like to contour the majority of my forehead and just highlight the center of my forehead. But if you have a smaller forehead or shorter, then you can highlight this area more. And then I'll draw a line down the center of my nose, just a thin line. I'll put a little bit above my lip and a little bit on my chin. And now I'll blend this all out. Okay, so now that I've highlighted my face, I'm going to go ahead and set this in place. So I'm taking my Coty Airspun powder. This is a really great powder as well. Just going to put some in the lid. You can bake your face, like you can bake under the eyes. I do that sometimes, but sometimes I just like to use a brush and it's just quicker in my opinion to set your face. Then I'm just going to take a powder brush. This is the Sigma F30 large powder brush, and just set the rest of my face. So I'm taking my Revlon Sculpt Highlight Contour Kit, and this is in light medium. this is what it looks like, and I'm going to take this shade right here, which is the more bronzy shade, to bronze up my face, and I'm taking that on my Real Techniques Duo, what is this called? Multitask brush. So your bronzer isn't meant to be as defined as your contour, so that's why I like to go in with a larger brush and just bronze up my face. So I take it on my cheekbones, I just kind of go right in the middle of my cheekbone and just blend it up, and then I'll just go around my forehead, just bring it down my neck a little. So next I'll be taking a smaller brush. This is just an angled brush. This is so old. Where is this from? I think I got this from IMATS a few years ago. I got this. This is the Royal. I got it in like a brush set. It was the best thing back then. But it was so cheap. It was like $20 for a set of like 15 brushes. And this is the Royal and Langnickel brush, contour powder brush, and I've been using it ever since, and it works really well. So yeah, any small brush like this will work. It doesn't have to be angled, as long as it will fit in the hollow of your cheek and just nicely around the perimeter of your face. So contouring is defining and slimming the face. The ideal face shape is an oval, so you can sort of customize it to create that face shape. I used to think that you had to get a super dark color to contour with, like really dark brown, but you don't have to do that. So you want to focus your contour just below your cheekbone. If you just put a brush there, you should be able to feel where your cheekbone is. You can just feel it, and it should be at the top of your ear and going in a diagonal line to the corner of your mouth. But you don't want to bring the contour all the way down here, because it's just going to look muddy and unnatural. You don't want to do that. So if you can't feel your cheekbones, that's the rule you want to follow. Top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. So I'm going to take the Cool Tone powder from this palette, which is this one right here, and just coat my brush, just tap it off a little, and then I'm going to start contouring. And with contouring, you want to blend it upwards onto your cheekbone. You never want to blend it down, because that's just going to drag your face down and it's not going to look lifted. And as I said before, I have a larger forehead, so I like to start contouring on my temples, and then I'll bring it down to meet with my cheekbone, and then I'll go under the jawline and contour as well, just like that. You can always add more product. It's best to start off with less than you think you'll need, and that's why I love this palette. It's so easy to work with, and like it's not too pigmented that you'll just overdo it. And if it helps, you can do the little fishy face. Now I'm taking the banana shade from the palette, and this is just going to brighten any area that you put this on. So I'd like to put this on all the highlighted areas of my face. So under my eyes, a little bit on my chin, here, on my nose, and between my brows. To contour my nose, I like to take a smaller brush. This is the brush that I use. It's just a fluffy brush. There's lots of brushes like this out there that you can find. You can just use an eyeshadow brush if you like, but make sure it's fluffy and not too dense. And I'm going to take that Cool Tone powder, just really lightly. The biggest giveaway that I find when someone has contoured their face is if their nose contour is too harsh. So you don't want to see too harsh lines down the center of your nose. You want it to be really blended and just really natural looking. So you want to take a very small amount of product, tap off the excess, and then you can start from the top of your brow and just really light strokes down the side of your nose. And also, if you want to shorten your nose a little bit, you can just add a little bit of contour to the ends of your nose, but my nose isn't really that long, so I don't do that too much. Just mainly down the sides. So now I'm going to add a little bit of blush. I'm just using the NYX blush in Dusty Rose. And I'm just going to add this to my cheeks. So I like to focus more on the top of my cheekbone rather than putting it like right here. I just feel like it blends better. And lastly, you want to highlight your face with a shimmer highlighter. I'm going to be using the Milani highlighter in Sunglow. I'm just taking that on my highlighting brush on the highest point of my cheekbone, so right here. I'm going to take a little bit above my brow. You don't want to put too much up here, just a tiny bit. Then taking a smaller brush, I'm just going to highlight my cupid's bow. And I just take it up like this. And then the tip of my nose, and I'll do a little bit down the bridge. And then the inner corners of my eyes, a little bit on my brow bone. So this is the final result. I love highlighting and contouring my face. This is what it looks like. I hope you learned something from this video. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.